All right, thank you so much. It's Mat Barzal at 4:28 of overtime that sends the Islanders to Game 4 with a 3-0 series lead. And as I mentioned, Mat Barzal is the hero. There's no question about it. He scored the goal to win the game. Semyon Varlamov deserves a whole lot of credit for the saves he made in overtime.
Well, there probably should be two first stars, one and 1A, because certainly without Varlamov, Mat Barzal doesn't get his opportunity to show his stardom.
So this is the save of the game, brought to you by Bethpage Federal Credit Union. Bethpage Federal Credit Union, we care about what you care about.
And it's just a little miscue at the blue line, and that's this man here, number 13, Voronov's got an awful lot of speed, so he has no trouble breaking free, but Varlamov just holds his ground. I mean, he's right in the center of the net and makes not only one save, but certainly the second save. And then the Islanders get the opportunity. Look at Brassard. And nobody talks about Brassard's little play there along the boards. And then Jordan Eberle with the perfect pass and a great backhand move. Great patience by Barzal. I'm sure he's made that move before, but never under those conditions. But again, it's been a team effort the entire time, Brendan. And then you see just what happens. A goaltender makes a big save, and then the defenseman moves it over to Brassard. And he shows great patience and strength along the boards. And pass to Jordan Eberle and then over to Barzal. So a lot of people touch the puck, and that's just typical Islander hockey.
It looked offside in live action. It looked really close when you saw it happen, and then when you look back at it, it wasn't all that close, but you kind of got the feeling that both Dylan and Carlson, the defenseman, just thought it was offside and didn't really pursue him that
hard. Yeah, they hesitate a little bit. Mind you, Barzal had some pretty good speed going in between them, and then he turns it on. He's got such good edges that he makes other people look slow sometimes. But just another good effort by the Islanders, and right now, I mean, the 3-0 lead you look at, certainly the series is not over, but there's going to have to be a radical change for me in the way Washington is attacking the Islanders, because they just haven't been able to get anything done. Ovechkin gets one shot in this game, and maybe the biggest game of the season, and it comes in overtime. So, I mean, that speaks volumes about the offensive attack by the Washington Capitals. Yes, we can credit the Islander defense for doing a lot of good things, but boy, oh boy, this is a team that won the Stanley Cup 2 years ago, and there's not that many different parts gone from that hockey team. So for whatever reason, they weren't able to crank it up in those preliminary games, Brendan, and so perhaps they're not able to crank it up for these playoff games.
Just thinking about it, there's one really big part missing from that 2018 Stanley Cup team, and he's on the other bench these days. No even strength goals allowed again for the Islanders. They gave up just the power play goal. It's remarkable what they're doing at even strength.
It is. And, you think back to last year when Barry came over and said, I'm going to change one thing. That's a fact. We're going to go from being an awful defensive team to a very good defensive team. And he went from being the worst to the absolute best. So there's a lot of guys who are on that team that are still here. So they understand the fundamentals, the basics of the game. And so they didn't have to start all over again, Brendan. So a lot of them are now doing it naturally. You got a couple of people that are filling in now and starting to feel a little bit better. So a lot of Barry Trotz and his coaching staff's magic is on display, to tell you the truth. And the guys are buying in. And when it's going well and you're winning, it's a much easier sell.
One of those guys that remembers back in the good old days was Anders Lee, and he's come on after a quiet first-round series or qualifying round series against the Florida Panthers. 3 goals in 3 games against the Washington Capitals.
Yeah, I love the way he's playing, and he has, he's the first guy to understand his own game. He knows exactly what he has to do, at what pace he has to do, and he's the first to criticize himself for saying, hey, I need to be better. Well, better would be an understatement, because he has really come on, and it's not only his scoring, his goals, Brendan. He typically scores his goals from around the front of the net, and that's never going to change. But it's effort, it's his desire. Hey, when you're tapping your stick and you're running to the front of the net and you know you're in position and there's a chance, that tells you he's in the game. He's raring to go, and yes, he's very satisfied or very gratified that Adam Pelech was able to see him, but he's been that way this entire series. It's almost like it's a challenge for him and his team to do something special. Everybody figured they'd get beat. It's not going to happen.
He's got 3 goals in this series on 12 shots, including 1 today. Again, a goal in Game 1, a goal in Game 2, and now a goal in Game 3 as the Islanders are on the brink of eliminating the Washington Capitals. They'll have a chance to close it out 2 days from now. It's a night game, the 8 o'clock game in a couple of days. But you look at this game, Butch, an overtime win for the Capitals, cutting the series lead to 2-1 is a very different series. They have an opportunity here to just clean sweep.
Well, it's believability that you can do it. And yes, there are teams that have come back from 3-0 and found a way to win a series. But you get the sense that Washington maybe doesn't quite believe that. You know, everybody talks about their pedigree and they've won a championship, and there's no reason to think they're going to quit. That's for sure. But I'd like to see them have a much better handle on winning than the way they've gone about it the last 3 games. So I mean, to believe you can do it is okay. We lost. We outshot them 40-20. We really played well. That's not happening right now. It's been about the Islanders. The Islanders control of the game, and pretty much for 60 minutes. Yes, there's some spurts from the Washington Capitals, but overall, it's been an Islander series. And so to get the players to buy into the fact that hey, you guys can still win, I don't know what they grab hold of to make it believable.
4 teams have come back from down 3 games to none in a best-of-7 series. Islanders will try and make sure they don't add to that list with the Washington Capitals.